Another week, another paper launch, and to say that people are getting pretty cheesed off is a bit of an understatement. A quick search this morning sees numerous RTX 3060 Ti's, a card with an RRP of £370 selling at £1,000, AMD's 6800 XT for £1,300, and the 3080 Ti, it's 1900 quid. What's going on here? It is absolutely pathetic. I think you really do have to be quite scummy to knowingly buy a GPU to deliberately then sell it on later, but I guess who cares, right? You're right, Jack. It's not surprising that people are pretty mad at Nvidia this week for throwing yet more petrol on the fire with the RTX 3070 Ti and the 3080 Ti launch. Two graphics cards that serve no real purpose in the grand scheme of things and are incredibly unlikely to solve our issues. But hang on a second, Centric, you've literally just covered these two cards. You've been making videos non-stop, all of these build guides, so aren't you part of the problem? Well, it's definitely something to consider, isn't it? So, in this video, we're going to talk about the stock shortages, we're going to talk about graphics cards, pricing, availability, and ultimately when it is going to come back to normal. After a short word from this rather relevant sponsor. Are you struggling to keep up with stock on PC components and consoles? Allow me to introduce you to the solution to your problems. Karma, the sponsor of today's video. Formerly known as ShopTagger, Karma is the Chrome add-on that can track product prices and stock levels, and then alert you when there's a price drop or new stock hits the shelves. It is super easy to install, just hit the link in the description, press add to Chrome, and then that's it. I've been getting loads of alerts recently for SSDs and it really is quite useful, but make sure that you do actually install the app on your phone too, as this way you can get alerts no matter where you are. You can save your products into lists, so you can categorize your PC components away from your designer genes, and then browse through your favorites all in one place. Best of all though, Karma automatically searches the web and applies coupon codes to your basket, which can save you loads of money without costing you a penny. This feature only works on desktop, so make sure you add that Karma extension to Chrome. There's even a new cashback feature that gets you money back to your PayPal account whenever you shop from a selected store. Again, all without cost to you. Install Karma today with that link down below. Let's start with the basics. What on earth is actually going on? Well, as I'm sure you're well aware, a graphics card is made up of various different components, all of which have to be sourced from earth metals, transported to various different factories, and then turned into the end product. Some parts are more generic than others, but it's the GPU itself, the big chip that actually makes your games run, that is truly unique and is tailor-made for each and every graphics card vendor. Nvidia and AMD almost produce like a recipe card that they then submit to a factory alongside a quantity that they can then use for ordering their products. But the issue is that they have to do this a long way in advance, way before the graphics card actually ever gets announced. So it's a little bit of a guessing game as to the exact quantity that they need, but it's not normally an issue. In recent years, however, there have been huge spikes in demand thanks to cryptocurrency, as gains in Bitcoin and Ethereum only encourage miners to upgrade or set up their gear, which is usually racks and racks of graphics cards. But no one could have prepared us for 2020, when every single part of the production line closed down for a couple of months, in combination with most people being stuck at home wanting to play video games. Well, not everyone, some people are boring. With all the stock being bought up, Nvidia swapping production in the wake of Ampere, AMD Big Navi arriving, the perfect storm well and truly ensued. And here we are today. The number one question that people have is, when will everything return to normal? Are you ever going to be able to pick up the graphics card that you actually want? And then will you get a choice on the vendor? MSI, Asus, reference. Remember when you had the choice? The answer is absolutely yes, but it's not going to be for a while. I would liken the situation to almost like your home water tank. I assume everyone has one of those. I think some people have immersion heaters, but that's not relevant. Imagine that your family's used up all the hot water in your tank. What do? Well, you wait half an hour for your boiler to slowly refill it with some lovely hot goodness. We're in this exact situation, except that someone has left all of the GPU hot taps on, so the tank can't actually refill properly because everyone keeps buying all of the GPUs, thus the stock level doesn't actually rise, it pretty much stays exactly the same. The way out of our problem is for people to A, stop buying GPUs, B, companies to produce more GPUs, or C, to have more companies that can actually produce the GPUs. Option A obviously ain't gonna happen, as the backlog is just through the roof, and choice C will take years to set up, so that's not really a short-term solution either. That leaves us with the option of making more GPUs. But that's not really as simple as you might expect. There's only a handful of companies that can actually make these chips, with Samsung and TSMC controlling a crazy amount of the world's supply, and everything has to be allocated a long way in advance. It's not like you can just crank up the production line to make 10 times more chips. The biggest thing that you have to bear in mind is that this is a global chip shortage. It is not just graphics cards, it is pretty much everything. Consoles, TVs, cars, there are so many different things that rely on semiconductors. The situation that we're in now is that everyone wants them and no one can produce enough. So it's not a case of Nvidia ordering more, it's everybody ordering more. How do you fix that? If I were to guess on timelines, then I'd say that things will probably start to improve around about September, October time. But the problem is that's also when demand starts to go up for the holiday season. So realistically, we're probably looking at next year before you actually have a chance to choose your next graphics card as if things were normal. So maybe Q2, but it could be later than that. We don't really know. At this point, things are probably sounding quite bleak, but there is some good news. Gaming CPUs. When AMD launched Ryzen 5000 last year, stock was again pretty non-existent, pricing blew up, and it was very hard to buy one. But if you fast forward to today, in the UK at least, they're all back in stock, selling for pretty normal prices. So if you do want to upgrade your PC and you're going for more of a CPU motherboard upgrade, then you certainly can do it. Of course, it won't solve your graphics card problem, but it does at least serve as a reminder that this is only temporary and things will go back to normal. They certainly can do at least. I guess at least on the slight positive side, there's not that many games coming out at the moment, so there's not a real need to upgrade. But as soon as Battlefield 6 lands, that is all going to change. Please GPUs, please be back in time. But what about me, Jay, Linus, and the whole of the YouTube crew? Why are we making videos about components that most people can't buy? Are we that horrible people? I assure you, we want nothing more than for these things to be in stock. We want to be making videos about things that people can buy. But ultimately it is our jobs to actually review this hardware, is to do all of the testing. And when you think just how scarce they are at the moment, or is it scarce? If you think how scarce and expensive these things actually are, then in my eyes this is even more reason to have more reviews on these cards, because we're talking crazy money, and if you don't know what you're actually going to be getting with your hard-earned money, then the chances are you could end up wasting it, and because you've bought it used off eBay or somewhere like that, then there are no returns. Unlucky, you've wasted your money. If you can't get hold of a graphics card to buy, but then you see it firsthand in a PC-centric build, you hear the pros and cons of AMD versus Nvidia, you see the difference between older cards and new ones, and ultimately have a real-world representation of your next gaming PC, then this is only going to help you make an informed buying decision. So no, we're not stealing all of the stock like a few of the comments say. We're talking about tens of cards, not the tens if not hundreds of thousands that need to circulate worldwide. All I care about with this channel is having a bit of fun, but ultimately delivering something that is valuable. I remember making my first ever PC list, I sent it to one of my friends and the comment I got back was like a laughing face. Emojis weren't out at this particular time. Every video that I make is almost for my 17-year-old self that didn't have the knowledge about PC gaming and that would have just loved to have some sort of rich information that, not necessarily spoon-fed information, but just gave you loads of different options and you could see all of this hardware come to life. That's what I want to be making. That's what I enjoy so much about this channel. Let me know what you want to see, and if you like what you see now, get subscribed if you're not already. I don't always ramble like this, and I don't always get emotional either. I'm usually a bit of a silly old idiot, but that is, I guess, my ISP. Not my internet service provider. Oh no, I am being an idiot. It is USP, unique selling point. Egg on the face as always. If you have missed out on the latest Nvidia builds, including the 3080 Ti gaming PC, then you can check these out on the end screen. And if you do want to see current stock or pricing, then as always my Amazon affiliate links are listed down below, as well as our sponsor link to Karma. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope this has been useful. Until the next time, I'll see you in the next one.